Hello, Martina.
Hello, Ran.
You're a philosophical practitioner here in Switzerland, and you're also a politician. You are a parliament member. Yeah. And I understand that you do all kinds of philosophical practice activities, including philosophical birthdays and rituals and counseling. But I understand that one thing that interests you, that you work with, is biographies. Biographies. How does philosophy connect to biographies, and what do you do with that?
What me interests in people or in persons is always the biography. They are telling what they think about their life, and I ask them questions, and suddenly we felt in a discussion is very, very interesting for me and also for my clients, I think, and it is always a very deep conversation about biography. What kind of child you were, or what you think, what is characteristic for you, or what are your dreams, and all these kinds. And I think it's one or two questions, and suddenly I am in a deep discussion with the other person.
So in what you said so far, that the context is counseling, one-on-one counseling?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's normally, I really like to be with one person or with a couple, and to discuss and to develop a conversation.
And what happens then? The person tells their biography, and do you philosophize about it?
Yes, but exactly. For example, somebody says, that was a very, very sad moment in my life. Perhaps my father died, and for me it was terrible, but it happened and I can't do anything else. And then we begin to discuss about possibilities. Perhaps you can change it. Your father is then dead, but you can imagine, or you can think about your feelings, and you can change your feelings or your imagination about this. And if you tell your story, what you felt then when your father died, then you have a new perspective. And I am sure everything happens in your life, you can change. Also when it is in the past, it's not written in
stone.
In a stone, yes. It's up to your mind to change your life, and I think you are always the person what you can tell about yourself, a narrative ego concept.
So is it some kind of, I'm just inventing, a narrative philosophy?
Yes, that I like this expression, yes.
Can you give a specific example, a person that maybe recently or earlier you saw, and a kind of biographical investigation that you did with that person?
Yeah, that was, I had a woman, she came every week about 6 years in my praxis, and she had a very, very hard relationship with her mother, and her mother died, and then she had a completely, she felt very sad, but also she had a very anger about her mother. It was a very strong feeling, and during the discussion or the talks, the sessions over the years, she learned that this anger she can change, that this feeling mustn't be till her end of her life. She can change this feeling. Perhaps it's not an anger. It's just okay. It was a relationship, and for me it was very impressive how it gets on with this woman because it was like a liberation of herself, because she was like, how you strangle it, or how you call that when you are like with banding, and when she lost her angriness, then she was like free.
Free.
Yes.
And what did you do philosophically to bring her to this point of freedom?
Oh, I listen. I listen a lot, and I like when people when they tell stories to me, tell their dreams, what they dream in the night, and also their wishes. And when they are speaking, then I can ask some questions, and with the question I guide a little bit the direction, and I really like this kind of reflection. And most people come to me, they really like to talk because they have some words and they are reflective.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell us an interesting moment from that particular case of this woman that you just described?
She came to me and she said that it's not possible to change this feeling. She's sure that that's like a heritage from her mother, that she gave her this angriness, and after some hours to talk, she really felt, oh yes, it's like a stone is gone away, because she felt there are so many possibilities. Possibilities is also a word or a concept I really like to work, because I'm absolutely sure that there are always many possibilities. It's not only one point of view. You have always many possibilities.
And Martina, if somebody says, I would like to see where the philosophy is here, is there some discussion of some philosophical issue or philosophical concept or material from old philosophers?
I know all philosophers, or just all, and I read a lot, and it's deep in myself, but concretely I quite or hardly never tell you, oh, Kant is said that, or Camus or Aristoteles are telling that, because it's in myself, and sometimes I have this idea that would be exactly to this woman told to me, but I don't use it many often. But I'm very surprised how philosophical all people are when you came in a dialogue with them.
So although you don't mention names, rarely you mention names.
Rarely, yes.
Nevertheless, somehow your knowledge of philosophy, your broad knowledge of philosophy, does come to bear in the process, does make a difference in the process.
Yes, it's very important, and I think philosophical counseling is absolutely superficial if you haven't a very, very deep historical philosophical point of view and experience with all very difficult texts and so on.
That's a very interesting and challenging view, that philosophy has to change me as a counselor so I can make a difference to the counselee.
Yeah.
Can you say a little bit more about how it changes you, how philosophy has changed you so that you can give philosophical counseling?
It's always changing me. It's a neverless ending story or a never ending process. I think I'm reading all the time philosophical texts. I'm reading philosopher, classical and new ones, and it's a never-ending process. I need that for my life, and I need also the contact with the people and the discussion with all people. And I'm very glad that I can do this as a profession, because I earn some money. I think that's not a small point in this, because it's much more than just a friend when I have a discussion.
You internalize philosophy rather than use it as an objective, separate
exactly.
thing.
It's my life. Also, you mentioned that I'm also a politician, yes, but I'm a philosopher, and I am doing politics as a philosopher, and I talk with people as a philosopher.
What does it mean to talk to people as a philosopher?
I can't imagine myself without any philosophy. I just can't. And since I was a child, it was always the philosophy, always I'm asking, why is it like this? I wanted to know everything, and I think it's a nevertheless ending story, and it's my kick of life. I couldn't do anything. I have no option. Yes, I have no option. I have to go this, and I'm very satisfied that I can do this in this way.
You mentioned several examples of how philosophy influences you. It gives you a certain passion for a certain way of looking at things. It gives you, I think you said, the tendency to ask basic questions such as why. And another example I think I heard from you is it makes you see things from different perspectives. So these are three examples of probably others where the philosophy that you have studied and learned influences how you relate to people and to life. Am I right?
Exactly. And what's also very important, I think, philosophy made that I can go away from my ego. I think that's also very, very important. My ego is in the normal day life. I have an ego, I have a big ego, and I'm very self-confident. But in a conversation, I lose my ego. It's gone, and that I really like. If I don't feel myself in a frontier, or I don't feel here I'm ending. It's going, and it's not physical. Or not only physical. It's also in my mind. It doesn't. It's a liberation from the ego, I think.
That's fascinating. That philosophy, when it is internalized, makes my world bigger than a self-centered world.
Yes, much bigger. That's a very good,
very
formulation.
Very interesting. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Martina.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you very much.